dialogue that doesn't include. We have a lot of dialogue between gods. So,
Yeah, I don't mind doing it. It's just
I think it'll be fine, actually.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a try. Let me get settled here.
What page?
Bill, where are we starting, Bill?
We're starting on page, near the top of page 15, right after Who the Devil Are They? And Shh. We'll start.
Oh, so we're not backtracking at all then. Okay.
No.
Give me a chance here to find it real quick.
Okay.
Sure.
we could backtrack with the paragraph before, with Shay a trifle angry and now completely mystified.
That looks like a good place to start.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Just one second. I'm just opening up what I have here. And I'm sorry, what chapter is that starting on then? 3?
This is midway through 3 on page 15.
Oh, okay, hold on, and I'll find it. Mine doesn't have page numbers, but I can find it here.
Yeah, I had to number mine. I want you to know, Bill, that you had the colors all wrong in your underlining.
All wrong.
Okay. So
Shay was supposed to be green. I'm just teasing you, Bill. It's because we use different colors.
Okay.
what now? Where does it start? At the top of you didn't know better? Or,
this is just after they...
Shay, a trifle angry and now completely mystified.
So Shay's first line will be, "Who the devil are they?" After,
right.
After narration and.
It's just after they laugh at him for eating turnips. So.
Oh, Grocky, good. Glad you.
Okay.
You got to come up because Odin, the Wanderer, has some lines.
Okay, so I read Who the Devil Are They after, they're going to read. Okay, I found it.
Yeah, so
okay.
wherever Harold comes in.
Okay, I'll try to know which is his parts. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Shay, a trifle angry and now completely mystified, turned to ask explanations. Before he could frame the words, there was a pounding at the door. Sverre admitted a tall man, pale, blond, and beardless, with a proud, stately face and a huge golden horn slung over his back.
There's another of them. That's Hebdal. I wonder if all 12 of them are meeting here.
Who the devil are they?
Shh.
The 4 bearded men nodded welcome to the newcomer. He took his place beside the wanderer with lithe grace and immediately began to say something to the older man, who nodded in rapt attention. Shay caught a few of the words.
Fire horses. But no use telling you with the bearer of bad tidings present.
He nodded contemptuously toward Uncle Fox.
It is often seen,
said the latter, raising his voice a trifle, but addressing the red-bearded man as though continuing a conversation begun before.
Redbeard, that liars tell few lies when those are present who can see the truth.
Or it may be that I have to tell... I'm sorry, I'll give you that again. Or it may be that I have that to tell which I do not wish to have repeated to our enemies by the evil companion.
Yes, there are even those who, having no character of their own, wish to destroy all character by assassinating the reputations of others.
Liar and thief.
He brought his fist down on the table and almost snarling. Shay saw that his front teeth were, surprisingly, of gold.
That's Thor's line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the Wanderer. Here, let there be an allaying of the anger of the Azar in the presence of mortals.
Let there also be an allaying of the insults in the mouth of...
All insults are untrue. I state facts.
Facts? Few are the facts that come from that long wagging chin. Facts like the tale of having 9 mothers, or the boast that horn and the great noise it will make. Beware lest mice nest in it, and it fails to give a squeak.
You will hear my trumpet at the time, father of lies, and you will not like the sound.
Some would say that called for the sword.
Try it. Here is the blade that will carve your stinking carcass.
Why, you...
Foxy Face and Heimdall were on their feet and bellowing at each other. Their voices had a volume that made Shay wince. The other 3 bearded men rose and began shouting also. Above their heads, the 2 black birds who had been the Wanderer's companions flew round and round with excited cries. Just as it looked as though the 2 original disputants were certain to fling themselves at each other's throat, the bigger redhead grabbed the smaller one by the shoulder and forced him to sit down.
Odin?
I have no indication that it's me, but sit down.
Who's Odin?
Brocky, he just spoke his line.
The Wanderer.
This is disgraceful. We shall have no reason. Oh, I'm sorry. The Wanderer's next. Sorry.
No, Odin is the Wanderer.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
This is disgraceful. We shall have no
So
reason.
who is Odin?
I command you to be quiet, both of you.
But
Nothing
Rocky
you
is
can
Odin.
say will be heard. If either of you speaks to the other before bedtime, he shall have nothing less than my gravest displeasure.
Lorelei, can
Rocky,
you hear
we're not
Grocky?
hearing you. I'm not hearing Rocky.
I heard Grocky,
Yeah,
but
he
I guess
came
you're
through.
not.
Okay, I'm
you're
not
at
hearing
Hebel.
him.
Ah,
Let me see if I can.
Change position.
Okay, try again, Grocky.
Nothing you can say will be heard. If either of you speaks to the other before bedtime, he shall have nothing less than my gravest displeasure.
Heimdall subsided and went over to a far corner to sit and glare at Foxy Face, who returned the glare. Alfie whispered to the awed Shay.
it's like this every time 3 or 4 of them get together. They're supposed to set a good example, but the first thing you know, they're at it like a gang of drunken berserks.
I'd still like to know who they are.
Do you mean you really don't know? Don't that beat all now? I wouldn't have believed it if you hadn't asked for those turnips. Well, the one that was scrapping was Heimdall. With Heimdall is Loki. The big red bearded one next to him is Thor. The old man, the Wanderer, is Odin, and the fat one is Frey. Have you got them straight now?
Shay looked hard at the Alfie, but there was nothing in the latter's face but the most transparent seriousness. Either he had stepped through the formula into some downright dream, or he was being kidded, or the 5 were local Scandinavian chieftains who for some reason had named themselves after the gods of Old North pantheon. The remaining possibility That these actually were gods was too wildly improbable for consideration. Yet those birds, the glance he had received from Odin, and he knew that Odin was always represented as one-eyed. The big redhead called Thor got up and went over to the pair whom Thjalfi had identified as Odin and Frey. For a few minutes they muttered, heads together. At the conclusion of the conference, Odin got up, clapped his floppy hat on his head, whirled his blue cloak around him, took a last gulp of mead, and strode out the door. As the door banged behind him, Loki and Heimdall half rose to their feet. Immediately, Thor and Frey jumped up, with the former rumbling.
No more! Save your blows, sons of the Asgard, for the time. Or if you must deal buffets, exchange them with me.
He lifted a fist the size of a small ham, and both subsided.
It is time for bed in any case. Come along, Loki. You too, Thiafi.
Thjalfi rose reluctantly.
I'll speak a word for you to Uncle Fox in the morning. Working for these Azar is no fun. They're an ornery lot, but I suppose we're better off with 'em than without 'em. What with the time coming, you know what Elf the poet says, "Bare is the breast without banner before it, when heroes bear weapons to the wrack of the world." Good night.
Shay was not at all sure he wanted to work for Loki as a warlock, whatever that was. There was something sly about the man, uncomfortable. The graceful and forthright Heimdall had impressed him more in spite of the latter's lack of sense of humor, he mused. A small noise at the door was Sverre, putting his head in for a look around and then vanishing again. Of the buxom young women, nothing had been seen since they took up the wooden platters. Though the house was obviously going to bed, Shay found himself not in the least sleepy. It could hardly be much after 9 o'clock, but in a world without artificial light other than that of torches, people would rise and set with the sun. Shay wondered whether he, too, would come around to that dismal habit. Probably, unless he succeeded in getting back to his own world. That was a rather upsetting thought. But hell, he had taken the risk with his eyes open, and even if this was not the world he had expected to land in, it was still one in which his 20th century appliances should give him certain advantages. It would be time enough to worry when...
Hi, Trumpet man. Fill a couple of mugs and bring them hither, will you?
Shay felt his temper rise at this dictatorial manner, but whatever or whoever Heimdall was, he looked fully capable of enforcing authority. And though the words were peremptory, the tone of voice was evidently meant for kindness. He obeyed.
Sit down. You have been called Herald, is that correct?
Yes, I was told you are Heimdall.
Nothing less than the truth. I am also known as the Watcher, the son of 9 mothers, the child of Fury, and the Golden. I prefer the titles.
Well, look here, Heimdall, what's all this?
Children of men use the titles or call me Sir.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Heimdall looked down his long nose and condescended a smile that showed the gold teeth.
To me, this familiarity is not unpleasant, for I have also been called the friend of men, but the Lord of Asgard disapproves.
You mean Odin?
None other.
The old guy? Pardon me, I mean the elderly one-eyed gentleman?
You are a well of knowledge.
I ran into him out on the moor yesterday and followed him here.
That is not hidden. I saw you.
You did? Where were you?
Many miles east away. I also heard your remarks to him. Lucky you were not to have been struck dead.
Shay almost said, "Aw, don't try to kid me." Just in time he remembered the piercing, icy glance Odin had given him and held his tongue. It wouldn't do to take chances till he knew more about what chances he was taking. What system of natural laws governed this world into which he had fallen? Heimdall was watching him with a slightly amused smile.
I also heard you tell Thialfi that you are no warlock, but you know not what it means. You must be from far. However, few are sorry for that. I'll keep your secret. Joke on the master of deception.
He drank.
And now, child of an ignorant mother, it is yet to be seen that you have knowledge of strange things. I propose that we amuse ourselves with a game of questions. Each shall ask of the other 7 questions, and he who answers best shall be adjudged the winner. Ask, mortal.
This
Seven
might be a good
questions.
place to stop.
Okay.